I always like to bring a couple more ounces than what I think my baby's going to eat. Make sure you factor in the milk that you're going to be pumping as well while you're out. One thing that I really love is this. Hey y'all, Noli here. I'm an exclusive pumping mom and I make videos all about that and mom life. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, be sure to subscribe and check out my channel. Today we are going to be talking about how to pump and feed your baby when you are on the go. So I'm going to give you a few tips and I'm going to walk you through some of the things that I have done in the past and things that I have used to make it easier so that hopefully some of this can help you and it can help you get some ideas on what might be best for you whenever you're venturing out into the world with your little one as an exclusively pumping mama. So just a few tips before I get into some specifics. Number one is you want to plan. Before you leave, you want to think about how long you're going to be gone, how many feedings are you going to be out for, how many pumping sessions are you going to be out for, and figure out how much milk your baby is going to need while you are out. Number two is that you want to bring more milk than you think your baby is going to eat. It's better to have too much milk and even let some of it go to waste possibly than to have too little and to have your baby being fussy and hungry while you're out. So I always like to bring a couple more ounces than what I think my baby's going to eat because I never know if he's going to eat more or less than what he usually does. It just depends on the day. Number three is that whenever you are thinking about how much milk you need to bring for your baby, make sure you factor in the milk that you're going to be pumping as well while you're out. How you want to work, whether you're going to feed your baby milk that you brought from home or milk that you've just pumped, that kind of... What are you laughing at? That will kind of depend on you and what you prefer. It can be nice to bring milk from home just as backup and then feed your baby freshly pumped milk while you're out. It just depends because that milk is good for 4 to 6 hours at room temperature. So sometimes it can be beneficial to bring backup milk from home and then just feed your baby whatever you're pumping out. I know it can be a little hard to know exactly how much you'll be able to pump out whenever your milk hasn't regulated yet. That's why I always like to bring extra milk just in case. But usually what I do whenever we're going out is I will think of how many pumping sessions we're going to have while we're out and how many feeding sessions we're going to have while we're out, and I will plan each specific feeding session. Okay, this session, this feeding, I'm going to use milk that we brought from home. And then the next feeding session, I will have already pumped while out. So I'm going to use that milk before it goes bad. And then the next feeding session after that, I will use more milk that I brought from home because I won't have pumped again until after that. Something like that. Obviously, it's going to vary from person to person because we all have different schedules, but that's kind of what I would do to plan out all of the feeding and pumping sessions for that day. So that is one thing that you can think about, is that you don't have to bring the exact amount of milk that your baby's going to eat the entire day, because you can feed them some of the stuff that you pump while you're out. Another important tip is that you want to have the right tools. Having the right tools can make things so much easier while you're out. So I'm talking, you want to have the right pumps while you're out. You want to have the right pumping bra. You want to have the right stuff to clean all of the bottles and the pump parts out with. You want to have the right cooling system for your milk so that it's going to be easy and painless for you, and so you don't have to worry about the milk going bad. So depending on your situation, where you're going, how long you're going to be out, that can determine what kind of stuff you will want to use. So I'm just going to go over a bunch of things that I have done in the past, different systems that I have used, different pumps and bras, and hopefully you can kind of pick and choose what might work best for you, what you can try out depending on your situation and your budget and whatever is going on in your life. The first thing I'm going to go over, and this is possibly the biggest thing I'm going to go over, is how to keep your milk cold while you're out. This can be a big, huge stressor. Everything is going to be stressful at first whenever you're first trying to go out, and it's going to take a lot of thought and it's going to take a lot of work, but I promise you it does get easier. As your baby spaces out their feedings and as your pump times space out more, it will get easier, and you will also get the hang of it more. It will be like second nature for you instead of like a major headache trying to figure out. So one thing that you can do is, if you have a thermos already, you can just use that to keep your milk cold. So if you have one that you like, that you use, you know works well, what I like to do is I will take the lid off the thermos and put it in the fridge. The lid has to be off or it defeats the purpose of putting it in the fridge. But I like to make that thermos cold to kind of help keep the milk colder longer. And then I will put already cold milk in that thermos whenever I am ready to go. Another thing that you can do is use a lunchbox and some ice packs. I have done this as well. We have a lunchbox that's kind of like an ice pack. The walls have like this gel stuff inside, so you can stick it straight in the freezer and the whole thing will get cold. And then I'll also throw a couple ice packs in as well, just for good measure. I kind of like this method because if you store your milk in the bottles that you feed your baby in, you just have to take those bottles out of the fridge, throw it in the lunchbox, and then whenever you're ready to feed your baby, you just take it out and you feed them. That is something that's really helpful, so you don't have to be like pouring milk into different bottles back and forth. So that's something that's nice, to use the lunchbox method. Another thing that I have actually done that works surprisingly well but is a little bit cumbersome is if you have like a regular insulated water bottle. I have actually used these. I will fill them up partway with ice, and I will put any milk that I'm going to be using in like just a breast milk bag, and I will shove that bag in with the water bottle with the ice, put a little bit more ice kind of around it and on top of it, seal it up, and go. And that actually does work really well. It keeps the milk super cold. I only tested it out for like a day's worth trip. I don't know how it probably would have worked for at least 2 days because it was so cold in here. But downsides to that is that you can only fit so much milk in there, because you've got your 6-ounce bags, which depending on the water bottle you have, you might be able to fit 2 bags in there. But so that can be a little hard. You've got this big water bottle with not a lot of milk in it. And then another downside is that you have to like take the bag out, open it, and pour the milk into another container, and then you could probably reuse that bag if you keep the milk cold in there, the little milk drops. But it works really well, but it is a little bit cumbersome. That is something that you can do if you already have an insulated water bottle. Another thing that you can do, this costs the most money, but it is really nice. You can also use these. This is the Ceres Chill brand, and it's specifically for breast milk. So you've got 2 chambers in here. You've got an inner chamber and an outer chamber. So what you can do is you can put up to 12 ounces of milk in this. You put some ice in here, and then you seal it up, and your milk stays cold, and you don't have to worry about it. It's really nice. I actually have 2 of these. I've got this one, and then I've got a white one. And I got these 2 for a trip because we're gonna be out and about hiking and doing a bunch of things on the go, and I needed just a quick, easy method that I didn't have to worry about. So you can use those. It is really nice. You can use them several different ways. You can pump directly into them if you want. There's a lot of things. They're really cool, but they are expensive. So it may not be the best option if you're on a budget, but if you get 2 of them, it's really nice because what you can do, you can have like a system going. It worked really well for me. We would leave in the morning, so I would fill both of my thermoses up with milk, with 8 to 10 ounces of milk usually. I'd fill each one up. And then what I would do is I would always start with my white bottle. I would pour the milk out into a bottle and feed him, and then I would pump at 11:30. So that milk that I just pump up, I would replace in that white bottle. And then I would switch. So I knew that for my baby's next feeding at 3, I would take the milk out of the purple bottle and feed him that. And then whenever I pumped next, which was usually about 4:30, I would just put that milk into the purple bottle and replace the milk. And then I would switch. I'd go back to the white bottle for the 7 o'clock feeding if we were still out. I would feed him from that. And then by that point, we would usually be home. But I could just keep going in that system. And it worked really well. And I even brought those on a backpacking trip. We did an overnight backpacking trip with those. It was really heavy. But what you gonna do? Some things you can't really help. And so I filled them up with ice, and whenever the ice started to melt, I think it was the next morning when we woke up and we started hiking back. We just did a one-night trip with our baby. And in the morning, the ice had pretty much melted in both of the bottles. So what I did was I just filled up the outer chamber of those bottles with water, because the water from those rivers was basically ice cold, and it was heavier, which sucked. But it was able to keep my milk colder for longer, because we didn't get to a place where there was ice available until like the end of that day. So it was like a full 2 days and 1 night that I had to use these for and keep my milk cold for. And it ended up working pretty well. So those are several different things that you can try depending on how much money you want to spend and depending on what you guys are doing. You can use any of those methods, see how you like it. If there's anything that I missed that you've done before, also let me know, because I'm always looking for good ways to store milk while we're out. Another important thing is pumping while you are out. You want to have the right pump while you're out too. So ideally you want some sort of portable pump if you can afford it. For a while I just used my big Spectra that I'm pumping with right now. And I would just pump in the car. You know, if you are going out and you are on your own time, you can do things at your own pace, then you can just bring your regular pump with you and pump in the car or something and just like take a break from doing stuff. But if you're like out with like family on a trip or something and you have to do things on other people's time, that's where it can get tricky. So what you will want to do at the very least is get a portable pump, something like this. This is a Pumpables pump. I love it. It's amazing. You can use something like this. You can clip it onto your pants, or you can wear it around your neck with a lanyard, and pump while you're on the go. And if you use that method, you will need a good pumping bra, which I will get to in a minute. So at the very least, you'll probably want something like that. For our trip with my family, I ended up getting a wearable pump, so that I could just put them in and be out hiking and doing things with everyone else. And it worked really well. These, however, are very, very expensive, and I did not want to get the cheap ones because they don't work very well. It can damage your supply. I was really skeptical of them. So this is the Willow Go. It's the cheaper one that Willow has. I really love it. It's great. It worked super well for me while we were out. I did have to get a pumping bra for it that would fit it. So, are you okay? So the bra that I got for that is from the Dairy Fairy. It's actually a really cute one. I'll show you right here what this one's called. This bra I really like because you can use it with a traditional pumping system, because it has these holes here that you can put a flange into, but it also will unclip, and they have a second lower clip here to give more space for that wearable pump. So it was a really good system. I really loved it, but I could also use this with a traditional flange pump as well. So this one worked really good. So the Dairy Fairy, I would definitely check them out if you get a wearable pump. They also they have like cute lacy bras, pumping bras, which I like because it makes you feel a little cuter while you're pumping. I don't know. Another bra that I have, this is an Ingrid and Isabel bra. It's kind of like more like your traditional one. You unclip this and then it has the hole for the flange. So this is one that I really like, that's comfortable. Another one that I have, this is from Love and Fit, I think is the name. It's like a sports bra and it's really cute, and what you do is you just lift this up and then it has the opening for the flange there, and this is really cute. It's good for like sportswear kind of things, but it is really thick. So if you're going to be wearing like a shirt over this, you probably will only want to use it in the winter because it's pretty thick. But yeah, you really want to make sure you have a proper pumping bra that you can use while you're out to make it easier so that you can walk around, do things, you know. And you want to have it fit correctly so that it can hold the suction of the flanges. Because if it's too big, then the suction will break and it'll be a whole thing. And then also for the wearable pumps, like the Willow, you definitely need the right bra for that. Otherwise, you won't get a good output. It can cause clogged ducts and things. So you really want to make sure you get the right bra if you get a wearable. So yeah, that's pumps and bras. One thing that I really love is this. These are pump wipes. They're just like little fabric-y like wipes. It has baking soda, and this one has grapefruit like essential oil in it, I think. These are amazing. I would definitely pick you up a bag of these for whenever you're going out. Because you can clean your bottles with this, you can clean your pumps, your pump parts whenever you're done, and you don't have to worry about finding a sink in a public restroom and like rinsing all your stuff out and cleaning out the bottles and like bringing soap and a brush and things. With this, you know, you can just bring 1 or 2 bottles, you can bring your 1 set of pump parts, and then you just wipe them out with these in between each time. I love these. They're a lifesaver. They're just a couple dollars, I think. Definitely get them. They will save your life. Yeah, you most definitely want to make sure that you have all of the right tools, the right pump. If you are going to be using like your regular flanged pump set, you might want to look into having like a nursing cover over you, or having a shirt that's pumping friendly or nursing friendly. Something like that too could be helpful, unless you're totally confident and willing to just walk around with flanges hanging out. You do you, that's awesome. But I personally am not very comfortable with that. So if I am using like this pump, for example, while I'm out, I will usually put like a nursing cover over. So that's something that you can do. You also will just want to make sure you have enough places to store your milk, whatever system you're using. Maybe bring a couple like breast milk bags just in case you get a lot of milk and need an extra place to put things. I don't know. But those are really the biggest 3 tips to think about. You want to plan. Make sure you have everything planned out. You want your feedings, what milk you're going to use for each feeding planned out. You want to make sure you bring enough milk. Too much is better than too little. You want to know what pump you're going to use, what bra you're going to need to use, if you'll need to bring like a nursing cover or something similar. So it's going to be a lot of work at the beginning, especially when your baby is young, but I promise you it will get easier as your baby gets older and as you get more experienced at going out. Now I really don't even have to think that hard about what I'm gonna do. I just naturally go through everything in my head, and it's a lot easier now. So I promise you it will get easier. I really hope this video helped you. If it did, please give me a thumbs up below. Please subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot more videos about exclusive pumping and mom life. So please, if you're into that, I would love to see you down in the comments, and Let me know what you like, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.